Ambassador Zeftar's crystalline appendages trembled as he transmitted the final warning to the blue marble suspended in the darkness of space. The Galactic Council had deliberated for 7 rotations, their conclusion unanimous and grim. Earth had exactly 1 solar cycle to surrender unconditionally or face the combined might of 47 civilizations. The human delegation's response came within hours. "Tell the Council," announced Admiral Sarah Chen, her voice steady through the quantum communicator, "that Earth respectfully declines their generous offer of slavery. We'll see them on the battlefield." The transmission ended with what the humans called laughter, a sound that sent chills through every species monitoring the exchange. Zeftar's superior, High Counselor Vexathul, materialized beside him in a shimmer of bioluminescent fury. They must not understand the gravity of their situation. Surely no species could be this irrational. But the humans understood perfectly. They had always understood. Captain Marcus Rodriguez stood on the bridge of the ESS Defiance, humanity's newest and most advanced warship. Around him, his crew moved with practiced efficiency, their faces grim but determined. Through the viewports, the assembled Council fleet stretched across the star field like a metallic constellation. Thousands of vessels from dozens of worlds, each one technologically superior to anything Earth had ever produced. "Sir," reported Lieutenant Zhang from the sensor station, "the enemy fleet masses at approximately 50,000 vessels. We're looking at everything from Altarian dreadnoughts to Centaurian swarm fighters." Rodriguez nodded, unsurprised. Earth's intelligence network had prepared them for this moment. "And our forces, Lieutenant?" 800 ships, sir, the entire Earth defense fleet." The bridge fell silent. Even with humanity's recent technological advances, the odds were crushing. More than 60 to 1. Any rational species would have accepted the Council's terms, but humans had never been particularly rational. "Open a channel to all ships," Rodriguez commanded. "Fleet-wide address." As the connection established, he thought of his daughter, back on Earth, probably sitting in her university classroom, studying the very xenobiology that had led to this moment. The irony wasn't lost on him. Humanity's insatiable curiosity about alien life had ultimately doomed them to this conflict. "This is Admiral Rodriguez to all Earth Defense Fleet vessels," he began, his voice carrying across 800 ships and nearly 2 million souls. "You all know why we're here. The Galactic Council has decided that humanity is too dangerous to remain free. They've seen our expansion, our adaptability, our refusal to bow to authority, and they've decided we need to be managed." He paused, watching the Council fleet begin its advance. Their formations were perfect, disciplined, overwhelming. "They're not wrong about us being dangerous," Rodriguez continued, "but they've made one critical error in their calculations. They've assumed that bigger numbers always win. They've forgotten something that every human child learns from their first playground fight. It's not the size of the dog in the fight, it's the size of the fight in the dog." Across the fleet, crews checked their weapons one final time. Humanity had spent the last decade reverse engineering captured Council technology, improving upon it in ways that had puzzled their alien counterparts. Where other species saw elegant efficiency, humans saw untapped potential. "Today we're outnumbered 60 to 1, Rodriguez said. "Our enemies have superior technology, superior firepower, and the combined wisdom of 47 civilizations. They have every advantage except one. They've never faced an enemy that simply refuses to lose." The first Council salvos lit up the darkness, their weapon systems designed for precise surgical warfare between civilized species. They had not anticipated humanity's response. The human fleet scattered like a disturbed nest of hornets, abandoning all conventional formation. Individual captains made split-second tactical decisions that defied military doctrine, their ships diving into suicide runs that somehow became brilliant flanking maneuvers. Where Council ships fired with calculated precision, human vessels unleashed everything they had with reckless abandon. The Terran ship Valkyrie rammed directly into an Altarian battlecruiser 3 times its size, its captain screaming ancient war cries as his vessel's fusion core overloaded, taking out an entire Council squadron in a cascade of nuclear fire. The destroyer Normandy, surrounded by enemy fighters, activated an experimental gravity well that collapsed half the attacking swarm into a microscopic singularity. Aboard the Council flagship, High Admiral Kethmore watched in growing horror as his superior forces began to falter. "This is impossible," he whispered. "They're destroying themselves just to damage us. What kind of species fights like this?" His tactical officer, a being from the logical Spican hierarchy, struggled to process the data. "Sir, they're not following any recognizable combat doctrine. Their behavior patterns suggest they view this as a survival scenario where any tactic is acceptable." "Even suicide?" "Especially suicide, sir." As the battle raged, humanity's true nature became clear. They were not just fighting for victory, they were fighting for the right to exist as they chose. Every human ship that died took multiple Council vessels with it, their crews singing ancient songs of defiance even as their hulls breached and their atmosphere vented into space. The ESS Defiance, heavily damaged but still fighting, faced down, a Council dreadnought 10 times its mass. Rodriguez smiled grimly as he gave his final order. "All hands, this is the Admiral. Today, we show the galaxy what it means to be human. Today, we prove that freedom isn't negotiable." The Defiance's experimental antimatter torpedo, a weapon deemed too dangerous by every civilized species, streaked across space toward the enemy flagship. As it detonated, Rodriguez's last transmission echoed across both fleets. "Tell the Council, Earth sends its regards." When the battle ended 6 hours later, the Council had technically won. Of Earth's 800 ships, only 12 remained operational. But of their 50,000 vessels, fewer than 20,000 still functioned. They had achieved victory, but at a cost that shattered their understanding of warfare itself. In the aftermath, as rescue ships moved through the debris field, Zeftar found himself studying the tactical reports in stunned silence. Humanity had lost the battle, but had fought with such ferocity that the mere thought of occupying Earth now filled the Council with dread. High Counselor Vexthul materialized beside him, his bioluminescence dim with exhaustion. "They're insane," he whispered. "Completely, utterly insane." Zeftar nodded slowly. "Yes, and that's exactly what makes them so terrifying." The formal occupation of Earth was postponed indefinitely. Some battles, the Council learned, were not worth winning, especially against a species that viewed death in battle not as defeat, but as the ultimate expression of their unconquerable spirit. Humanity had lost the war, but won something far more valuable: the galaxy's eternal respect for their indomitable will to remain free.